What's up guys? And I'm back with another video again. We're going to be doing some more sample videos, another 5 samples to review in this video. The last decan I got, I had like 30 different samples, so I'm releasing these in parts instead of all in one video. Just because I figured shorter video is easier to watch, easier to edit, and just better that way. So we'll do 5 per video, and I guess we'll start it off with the first fragrance, which is Mizone Wave, which has been quite hyped a lot online. So what we got here is Mizone Wave. The smell of Mizone Wave. It is like the rumors say. It is very much like Allure Homme Sport and Versace Pour Homme. Citrusy, slightly aquatic, not as aquatic as Versace Pour Homme. This doesn't have the same ambroxan salty marine opening as Versace Pour Homme. This leans a little bit more towards the dry down of Versace Pour Homme. It's not as creamy as Allure Homme Sport, but it does smell a lot like it, okay? That's your difference. Besides that, it's pretty hard to distinguish any differences between this and Versace Pour Homme, Chanel Allure Homme Sport, just besides the fact that Versace Pour Homme does have a very strong ambroxan opening with a salty marine opening as well. And this is maybe not as sweet as Chanel Allure Homme Sport or as aquatic as Versace Pour Homme. This is just in the middle, but I think it's not better than either of them. I think it's just probably the worst out of all of the 3. This is more expensive than Versace Pour Homme, at least where I can buy it, retail price. It's more expensive than Versace Pour Homme. And if you're gonna go discount anyway, Versace Pour Homme is always on discount, so even if you can get this cheap on discount, you can also get Versace Pour Homme cheap on discount. So I think while this is a nice fragrance to buy, probably not my preferred out of the 3. There's not much else to say besides that. Citrusy, a little bit fresh, a little bit aquatic, just your typical Versace Pour Homme, Chanel Allure Homme Sport kind of scent. But apparently it's got a nice bottle and it does smell great. I do enjoy the smell of it. Then next up we got Dunhill Icon. This has been hyped up quite a lot online and it's not a new fragrance by any means. Dunhill Icon, the EDT, I believe, in the silver bottle. So the bottle of this does look pretty cool. I believe it's a silver cylinder shaped bottle, which is not your typical bottle. The scent of this is also not your typical scent that you would find that often. It is a citrus scent, but not your basic citrus scent. So this is a little bit sour and zesty in the opening. But then you have this very sweet neroli almost that comes through. So there's a very sweet neroli that you can smell right after the sour dry down goes away. And then the citrus in here is a little bit cheap smelling, I will say that. It's not like a really high quality citrus or anything. But what you get is a little bit of iris, a little bit of florals, some sweetness and freshness. The problem with the florals in here is it smells a little bit medicinal and like band-aids. Looking at my notes, I said that medicinal smell could either be leather or oud, but there is no leather or oud in here. It's just iris. So this is a fresh iris, not your typical iris that you would get in Dior Homme Intense. It's not a makeup iris, it's not a powdery iris, it's not a soapy iris. This is a medicinal iris, so it gives it a medicinal smell. But it is slightly soapy. So the fragrance is a slightly soapy one. It is very sweet, very soapy, medicinal. It is pretty much a citrus scent when it gets down to it. It's a citrus scent that has some sweetness and some floral neroli iris in there. Besides that, I don't think it's a bad scent, but I don't think it's a great scent either. I think the quality is a little bit poor and cheap on this, but I do think it is unique. It's a very unique fragrance that smells a little bit like Lalique Pour Homme and Oud Lemon Mint. So if you've smelled Lalique Pour Homme or Oud Lemon Mint, it is very similar to both of those, and not a clone of any of them, but just kind of similarities with those two. Moving on to the next fragrance, it is YSL Y Le Parfum. YSL Y Le Parfum. Right now I've already smelled the EDP, the Eau Fraiche, and now the Le Parfum, and I think they all smell basically the same, but there's only a few differences here that you wouldn't really pick up on that aren't that noticeable. Eau Fraiche is the more lemony, airy, fresh one, and it's not as overpowering or cloying. EDP is the strong, fruitier, more overpowering, cloying one, and this is the more lavender, mature, floral one. So you would think the Le Parfum is the strongest, but it's actually not. This is it's got lavender in it, and lavender makes this like a little bit softer around the edges, so it's not as cloying or anything as the EDP. This is mainly lavender with that, still with that fruity smell. It still smells pretty much identical to the other YSL Y fragrances, but this is just a little bit of lavender, or mainly lavender in this one, which comes across as a little bit like Ralph's Club, but it's not like Ralph's Club. So people say that, well, they compare it to Ralph's Club, but in reality it's nothing like it. So I've got some notes written down here. Yeah, so the original EDT, I haven't smelled the original EDT, but the original had pineapple in it, so I'm assuming the original was more fruity and fresh, but the new EDT has vanilla in it, so I have to smell the new EDT because it got reformulated. I know that Live is supposed to be fruity as well. I haven't smelled Live, so I guess that's the differences. This is the more floral lavender one and the more mature one, but this is still, you could buy any YSL Y and you wouldn't really tell much of a difference. So if you bought one of them, you've smelt one, you've smelt them all pretty much. It is really nice though. I hope you buy or test YSL Y at least once, even though it is overpriced. The girls definitely love this stuff. It's probably a huge hit with the girls, and I pretty much only bought the YEDP just because I knew how popular it was and how many compliments it would get. And I needed something that I could go out in public and feel confident wearing, knowing that other people are going to enjoy that scent too. So that's the only reason why I bought YSL Y, even though I think it is a synthetic fragrance. I've always thought YSL Y is very synthetic and almost a little cheap smelling, so that's the only real problem with this. Just a little bit cheap quality, synthetic, and yeah. Moving on, we got Mercedes-Benz Intense. Okay, Mercedes-Benz Intense. So this is has a woody and violet opening. The opening is violet. If you don't know what violet is, it's used in quite a lot of fragrances like Duke Wow Fresh. It's used in Cavalli Uomo. It's used in Boss the Scent Le Parfum, and I think even a few other fragrances do have violet. And it comes across as a honeyed floral scent that's a little bit artificial. Like it's not a real violet flower, I believe. I believe it's more like a synthesized compound or whatever that is make it smell purple or like violet flower. And that's what you get. It smells purple, but this does have woody and citrus notes in it in the opening. Yeah, I think it smells a lot like Cavalli Uomo without the lavender, and I think there is lavender in here actually, but I don't think there is leather in here either. So this is a little bit different than Cavalli Uomo, but basically same family as all those violet fragrances. I think just the violet's a little bit challenging to wear. I don't think it's that mass appealing. I find violet to be a little feminine and a little challenging, and it's very sweet. So this is a very sweet fragrance, but it's also fresh. It's sweet, fresh, violet, honeyed, woody kind of scent. So it is very nice, very pleasant. I don't hate it. I would say you would probably like it because I know Cavalli Uomo is a big hit with everyone, and this is pretty similar to that. Maybe a little better. I'd say this is a little better than that. Okay, so the last one is Burberry London. So Burberry London, if you don't know, if you smell this in small amounts, it smells a lot like tobacco, like your honey tobacco. And then if you spray a lot of this, then you smell some florals in here. So This stuff gets way more floral the more you spray, and the less tobacco you can smell when you spray it. It does smell like pure Havana when you smell like the lid or something. Very small amounts, it smells like pure Havana. It smells like Naxos in very small amounts. So if you put one spray on your skin, you leave it for a while and then you smell it, you get that Naxos smell. This is a sweet tobacco floral fragrance, so it's not going to be exactly like Naxos or pure Havana. This is more fresh, more floral, but it does have that very, very sweet honey tobacco smell in there. And I find this to be a more balanced version of like Naxos or something like that. This is more balanced, but Naxos is still sweeter, and Naxos is probably a little bit better than this just because of its sweetness, and it's not as floral, so it smells better in large amounts. And this is like, the more you spray this, it just kind of smells a little bit too floral. But I love this in small amounts. I think this is really good. I think this smells great. And this has a little bit of cinnamon, a little leather, a little bit spicy, vanilla tobacco or something like that in there. Some people compare it to CK Shock. I don't think it smells like CK Shock personally, because I do have that and I will review that. But I think this is a really nice fragrance. Another Burberry fragrance that absolutely surprised me. Burberry, I don't understand the hate for this brand because it's so good. Burberry have made a lot of great fragrances like Mr. Burberry, Burberry Hero, Burberry London, Burberry Brit. I think they got a pretty decent lineup of fragrances, honestly. And this is very, very classy scent, like a very classy scent that both men and women can wear, okay? So it's not too feminine, it's not too masculine. This is like unisex, very great scent. And yeah, just floral tobacco, sweet, fresh, sexy, not safe at all. It's very challenging to wear, so that's the only problem. Very challenging, and if you don't like tobacco, then you might not like this, because this is only for tobacco lovers, and you have to really like tobacco to appreciate this one. So that's the only downside. And yeah, so Burberry London, really nice scent in my opinion. I think it's underrated. Don't go out your way to buy it because it's not a safe blind buy. You've got to test this first. So give it a test and you might actually enjoy it. So that's it for this video. That's 5 fragrances done, and I'll see you in the next video. And thanks for watching, guys, and peace out once again.